Earth as a prison planet. In this video, I'm going to discuss a fascinating theory that has captured my attention for some years now, the Earth as a prison planet theory. For years, people from various backgrounds have proposed the idea that Earth might be more than just a planet among the vast universe. They believe that our planet serves as a prison or a controlled environment for more advanced beings or extraterrestrial entities. These beings allegedly monitor and manipulate our lives, keeping us confined within the boundaries of this planet. Now, while this theory may sound far-fetched at first, I have come across research that has shed light on some intriguing evidence. One of the studies I stumbled upon, which I will be using for this video, provides a well-researched and detailed analysis of this theory. It presents various supporting factors and references that have mirrored my own findings. One aspect that this research explores is the concept of ancient civilizations. It suggests that throughout history, advanced beings or extraterrestrials have visited Earth and influenced the development of human civilization. These alleged visits and interventions could be seen as a way to control and manipulate our progress, effectively keeping us confined within the prison planet. Additionally, the study also delves into the idea of human consciousness and its potential suppression. It suggests that our individual and collective consciousness might be suppressed or limited by external forces, preventing us from reaching our full potential. I mean, look at the world. This suppression could be a way to maintain control over the prison planet's inhabitants, humans. Now, it's important to note that this theory is highly controversial. However, you could do your own research on the subject and try to come up with your own conclusions about what awaits us when we die. Perhaps you will come to a different conclusion, but most people only rely on what religion and their holy books tells them about the afterlife and will never do any individual research themselves. Remember, religion offers one perspective, not the full picture. The link to the research used in this video will be in the video description, along with the references used. Remember, this discussion is purely speculative and it's up to each individual to decide what they believe. Let's begin. For the last 10 years, the author of this research has been researching the nature of our reality, who or what controls our society from the shadows, and more importantly, what actually happens when the physical body dies and the soul leaves the body. Do we go to heaven? Do we go to hell? Do we just cease to exist? Is there a God that takes care of us? Once you begin to realize what's actually going on and how deep the rabbit hole really is, you will never see the world in the same way. Now, the whole point of this video is not to frighten you, but to present you the conclusion in regards to what actually happens when our physical bodies die, having done what feels like endless research from every angle possible. He has thoroughly investigated near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, astral projection experiences, past life regression, hypnosis data, remote viewing data, Gnosticism, ancient texts, and more. These different ways and methodologies of researching has led to the same conclusions, and because of that, it is believed that the Earth is a prison planet and a massive farm used by various parasitic entities who are using us, that is humans, and have been using us as energetic food for what appears to be a very long time. Now, I will share plenty of evidences from his different sources and perspectives to give you a better understanding of how he has connected all these dots and why he came to these conclusions. Now, I promise you that the deeper you research this stuff, the more you will begin to realize that this is extremely real, important, and it's possibly affecting every single one of us. All I'm asking you to do is to keep an open mind and to analyze the evidence yourself. Different sources that have nothing to do with each other indicates the same scenario.
By killing people?
I create life! And I destroy it. Life is an act of consumption, Jupiter. To live is to consume. Now the human beings on your planet are merely a resource, waiting to be converted into capital. And this entire enterprise is just a small part in a vast and beautiful machine defined by evolution, designed to a single purpose, to create profit. Every human society is a pyramid, and that some lives will always matter more than others. It's better to accept this than to pretend it isn't true.
Firstly, let's look at reincarnation and the white tunnel of light. You know how anyone who has had a near-death experience talk about having seen a tunnel of light appear in front of them, or having met members of their family who had passed away. In some rare cases, even having met and spoken to who they thought was God. This research suggests that the tunnel of light, which appears when we die, is a trap designed to wipe the whole memory of our last incarnation and to recycle our souls into another body, thus keeping us in an infinite loop here on earth. Because of this, the overwhelming majority of people walking the earth have total amnesia and don't remember anything about their past life experiences or anything from the periods in between their lives. If you do some research though, you will notice there is a small number of people worldwide who are able to recall very specific details regarding who they were, what they did for a living, where they lived in a past life, and so on. There's lots of people out there who have been able to bring very solid pieces of evidence to sustain their claims, and those cases have been verified with verifiable evidence which shows that reincarnation is a very real phenomenon, despite what most of the world's religions claim to happen to the soul when a person dies. The reason these people's memories have not only been partially erased and not fully erased remains unknown for now. Now, the reason people that went through near-death experiences didn't come back with their memories wiped is because, unlike people who have died, these NDEs didn't end up going all the way through the tunnel of light to reach its destination. Many NDEs didn't enter the tunnel at all, while some have partially experienced it. All of them managed to return to their bodies and live to tell what they experienced on the other side. Hence the term near-death experience. Let's move on to the astral realm or spirit realm, the reptilians and their agenda.
Mixed in with the religious writings are poems, instructions for mystical practice, and a description of the origin of the universe.
That shed a great deal of light on early religious issues, biblical texts, and biblical history. But they made a mention of a very mysterious race of creatures that have become known as the Archons. We don't really know what the Archons were or even are. What's interesting is that there is actually a depiction and a description of the Archons looking definitively reptilian.
They're very robot-like, very machine-like, and therefore very predictable.
Is it possible the stories of the Archons really are describing reptilian humanoid beings? And might our own so-called reptilian traits really be the product of alien engineering?
The reptilians are found in the literature of multiple ancient cultures across the globe. Jainism and Hinduism talk about the Naga, whom they describe as half-human, half-serpent deities. The Aztecs used to worship the Quetzalcoatl, whom they described as the serpent-like god. The Hopi Indians in North America referred to the race of reptoids called the Shetty, translated snake brothers. In Africa, shamans claim to bear extensive esoteric knowledge of a race of reptilian beings called the Chitauri, whom they say control the earth. Chinese, Korean, and Japanese legends talk about a race of reptilian beings called the Kappa. The Gnostics talk about the parasitic entities whom they called archons, who not only use humans as an energetic food source, but they also prevent our souls from leaving the material realm upon the death of our physical bodies. The reptilians are both physical and astral beings. They've been heavily involved in the manipulation of mankind for thousands of years and are responsible for setting up the soul trap around the planet with the help of extremely advanced technology. This energy grid around the planet serves multiple purposes. One of its main purposes is to project this grandiose tunnel of light in the proximity of people who have just died in order to lure their soul in. This is the same tunnel of light that so many people who have had near-death experiences have reported seeing on the other side. The soul may be under the impression that the tunnel of light is going to take it to the heavens or perhaps to a higher plane of existence, depending on its level of awareness. In reality, when a soul enters the tunnel, its memory gets wiped and the soul is put into another body here on earth, aka reincarnation. The tunnel acts as a bait. To make a good analogy, imagine a fisherman and his fishing rod. He throws in the bait, which hides the hook, and the fish get trapped in it when they bite. We humans get tricked and trapped by the tunnel of light in a similar way, if we aren't aware that it is a trap. In this case, we are the fish. The reptilians are highly intelligent, highly advanced technologically, and they lack empathy, which makes them dangerous. These beings see themselves as gods and humanity as their enslaved cattle. Now, the reason they want to keep us here is because they need to feed off of us energetically. When people go through any kind of suffering, these entities feed off of our lower frequency emotions such as fear, pain, grief, anger, jealousy, rage, anxiety, lust, because they are low vibrational beings that require low vibrational energy in order to survive. Rudolf Steiner, one of the most prolific and gifted scientists, philosophers, and esotericists of his time, explains how the archons feed off of our fear and anxiety. Now I'm pause here. So you see how when religion, when most religions preach that suffering is noble and it's good to suffer and all that. When you take that analogy and you look at it from this perspective, it's a different ball game. You see suffering differently. It's no longer something you're doing and you're benefiting something from, because if you are using this perspective, then you've been fed that theory in order for you to endure in suffering, which is brought on by a lot of low vibrational energy, so that it keeps you stuck in this loop where you keep feeding this motherfucking beings. Interesting. The majority of people living on this planet today have been continuously reincarnating on this planet for thousands of years because we keep falling for the same trap when our physical bodies die. Most of us have no memories of our past experiences since our memories get wiped before every reincarnation. So every time we are born on this planet, we think we've just arrived for the first time with a grand purpose or mission to fulfill, given to us by who we think is God. Now, what is interesting about this prison planet theory is that it goes against other theories that says that Earth is a school. For instance, Dolores Cannon's theory of Earth being a school and we're here to experience being different beings, which looks at reincarnation as a noble thing, as an amazing thing, as this good thing, However, when we come at it from this angle, we're open to this new perspective that is saying that reincarnation on Earth is actually very detrimental to our souls. and we need to take steps to stop that process. So these are two perspectives and two theories, because some people go with earth as a school and suffering is noble, and yeah, we're here to learn lessons. And then there are other people that go by, this is a shitty ass prison planet, and we're being kept prisoners by the archons, and we're here to suffer and all those kind of thing. Anyway, let's move on. When our physical bodies die, or when we have an out of body experience, our soul goes into the astral, that is the spirit realm. And while we can still observe what is happening on earth, we can no longer interact with physical matter. These parasitic entities exist mainly, but not exclusively, in the astral plane. It's crucial that we become aware of the fact that these entities, who are masters of the seat, play God in order to trick us into accepting reincarnation, and thus having our memories wiped, convincing us that it's our best interest to do so. Now, how are they able to do that? When we're out of our bodies, the laws of physics as we know them no longer have the same effects upon us, as we find ourselves in a different realm in which we are able to do things that would be impossible in the physical world. Our souls are pure energy. On the astral realm, we can change the shape of our astral body into anything we want by simply willing it to happen, because unlike the physical world, we can use our consciousness to manifest a different looking body in an instance when we're in the astral plane. And since we're no longer affected by physical laws and limitations, we can also fly around or teleport by simply using our intention to do so in the astral realm. We can even go to the higher vibratory realms where the real good-hearted beings live, if our vibration is high enough. Now, if you understand that in the astral, any entity can change the shape of its astral body into anything it wishes to, then you realize even the most malevolent entity, the most evil entity possible, can present itself to you in a different form to trick you into thinking you're speaking to God or your guardian angel or your ancestor, or even to one of the members of your family who had passed away. They do this because they know you'd put your trust in these religious figures or in the familiar faces, and once they've gained that trust, they can easily manipulate you into doing things that are not in your best interest at all. They masquerade as beings of light that emanate a fake sensation of love and peace to make you think they're the good guys who are here to guide you and give you your next mission to fulfill.